Can you teach creativity? Our next guest has spent her professional career trying to answer that question. With us now is Linda Popp, an artist and visual arts educator. Linda, welcome to SMARTS.
Thank you very much.
And you know, I do describe you as a living young legend. Whenever your name comes up, it's sort of the sound of the name too, Linda Popp. But it's also all the amazing work that you have done to inspire people here in the county, young students, adults, everybody, about visual arts. So we're so honored to have you here.
Thank you, thank you. I take every opportunity that I can to celebrate the amazing visual arts program that we have in Baltimore County Public Schools.
All right, so I'm going to ask you the big question.
Okay.
Can one teach creativity?
You better believe it. And that's what we're all about. In education, we call it creative problem solving. And it begins with the teacher developing problems for the students that are very structured, but at the same time open-ended. And then we facilitate their creativity by asking them to take risks, to go beyond that one answer that they're asked for in so many other classes, to develop multiple solutions to a problem, to get feedback from others, to incorporate that feedback into their work, to constantly analyze and assess what they're doing. And those are all skills that can transfer to all their other subjects. So the process is just as important as the product.
Right. Do you think that process is better taught with the visual arts than perhaps maybe, you know, social studies or math or?
I think the issue is for social studies and math to perhaps find ways to use the arts in those classrooms to address the different learning styles and the creativity and innovation that we're looking for in today's society. All the information is there. The kids have it at their fingertips on their phone or their tablets.
They do, don't they?
Now the thing is, what do you do with it?
Yeah.
And that's where the creativity and the innovation come to play.
Yeah.
And we're just a huge part of that.
That's terrific. Well, I'm sure over your 41 years of teaching, you've seen some amazing work come from students.
Absolutely.
And I know that the Reginald Lewis Museum is going to be presenting a juried exhibit of some of current work from high school students that's been inspired by Ruth Starr exhibit. Can you tell me a little bit about that, what the theme is, and a little bit about the exhibit?
This is an annual event, and each year the theme is different. And this year the students were at the student problem was to express personal ideas about race, gender issues within our society.
Right.
And there's your perfect example of can we teach creativity? Because every student's response is different.
Right.
All right, and the teacher facilitates that creative problem solving to come up with what is it that I want to say about this topic? In a way that's going to perhaps move others or think about it in a way that they hadn't before.
Right.
That's what art does.
Well, fortunately, there's a lot of opportunities for Baltimore County students to show some of their innovative work. We're lucky to have some places who support what they're doing, and that's the Walters, the BMA, the Reginald Lewis Museum, Goucher. Why do you think the major institutions have decided to take this on? Because they're very pressed, you know, they have limited resources. Why is it important that they display some of the students' artworks in their own galleries?
Yeah, I think it's a win-win situation. It's great for our students to have their work on display in these wonderful community facilities, and it's great for the museums to bring in those audiences. When the families come, I can remember having parents come and say they hadn't been to the museum before. And it just makes me like, how powerful that is to have the family come to see their students' work surrounded by these masters.
Yeah.
It's a huge event, and it's a wonderful, we're very fortunate that we have these community connections.
Yeah, we are. Okay, so we've talked about Linda Popp, the educator. Now we're going to talk about Linda Popp, the artist, your own work, which is fascinating. I mean, so if you would, tell me a little bit about your vision and your inspiration behind your own work.
My work is, I call it assemblage narrative sculptures that happen to be clocks because they tell stories over time using artifacts or symbolic objects I've done this in the classroom, and this is my art form probably for the last 20 years. I have 3 series: family, faith, and relationships. I think my teaching has informed my art, and I think my art informs my teaching, and I think that's true of all art teachers.
Yeah.
I get inspired by my students. I've asked them to take risks. I've asked them to explore personal ideas. So I better be doing it myself, in my work.
Okay. And speaking of your work, we have just a few seconds left. Tell me a little bit about the Towson Arts Collective exhibit coming up.
I'm excited about this because it's called Mother and Child, and it's an exhibit of mature female artists who happen to have children that are also professional artists. So I'm very lucky in that I have 9 close female friends who we're going to exhibit together with our children.
Terrific.
And it's January 9th is the opening reception at Towson Arts Collective.
All right, I will be there. Fantastic. Okay. And after 41 years, I know you're retiring, but only you're going to be doing more artwork and a great presence here for all of us in Baltimore County. Linda Popp, thanks so much.
Thank you. It's been the best career ever.
Thank you. Well, now let's take a look at the calendar.